Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of my diorama building series of the Operation Barbarossa Diorama. And as you can see, quite a lot has happened since the last time you guys saw this dio piece. And I have to say, I need to catch you guys up with what I've done and give you quick heads ups and heads ups. I don't know what the plural for that is actually. And then we can, as I promised in the last bit, actually do something on camera. And we will be pouring the still water because I have decided to scrap the idea with the fence. I kind of like the look of the sunflowers, although I wish to have a couple more to fill this in, but I don't. So I'll do with what I have so far. I might add some more if funds permit in the future. Just a quick heads up what I changed. Like I said, put the sunflowers in, put the grass stuff in back here, a couple of branches. The outhouse is in place now. And this tree, if you guys have seen my diorama series called Dawn of Disaster, you might have seen this tree before. I just cut it off the old diorama base because I wasn't happy with it. And then I put it in here. And now it will hold a clothesline between the outhouse and the tree, where we'll put the Easy Line Plus Model resin clothing. So that's gonna look cool, I guess. Well, I touched up some of the other corners with the grass. I decided to leave a bit of a free patch here where there's only a little bit of scatter in front of the clothesline, just to show, okay, the people that live in the house walk there quite often to get both to the outhouse as well as to the tree, or rather the clothesline to pick up their laundry. I also will have, from the Eastern Region Peasants set, this one, I will do a little bit of a surgery on the woman that is holding the whatever thing, the thingy, and I will manipulate her arms in a fashion that she's standing in front of the laundry as if she's trying to put it to pull it off either off or put it on the clothesline. I also build up one of the small little children from the set. He will go on the diorama next to his father talking to a German soldier. And I might add another infantryman from this dragon set. That's Germania Regiment, France 1940. But seeing as Germania was transferred to the Eastern Front in 1941, rebranded Viking, I think those figures and the equipment they are using is fitting for this diorama piece as well. A quick update on the tank. Not much has changed other than the fact I scrapped the magic tracks and I replaced them with a set of rules I had on another model that I decided to strip the tracks off and replace those with the magic tracks that I had intended to use on this one. So yeah, I just thought the rules are much nicer with the workable suspension and especially with the undulation of the terrain. As you can see, they really do a great job there of picking out the terrain. Anyways, like I said, today is the big day. Today is the we are pouring water day. So let me prepare everything for this, and when I'm done preparing and cleaning the bench, setting up everything, we'll come back and we'll pour the first layer of water into our little ditch here. So see you guys in a second. Alright guys, we are prepared and we are ready to go. What do we need for pouring our still water? Well, first and foremost, still water. Second, we need a container that can take our still water. This is just a glass thing. I don't know what my mother had them from. I think some dessert came in them. And they were washed and rinsed and stuff like that, all in the washing machine. So they're good to go. Not the washing machine. The dishwasher. And so they're good to go. They're clean as a whistle inside, so no pollution or anything of the stuff. And I'm going to be using gloves, rubber gloves, just to protect my fingers from getting stuff on there. And I don't want to pour this stuff directly from the bottle onto the diode, just because I don't want to risk getting spills somewhere I don't want them. And I know that it's risky putting it in the glass and then putting it on the diode because of spills. But if I were going over this thing with the bottle like this, pouring it on, I would risk putting it on too thick. The thing is, the bottle states that you shouldn't put it on in thicker layers than 1 to 2 millimeters at a time and then let dry for 24 hours. So what I'm going to do is we'll put down the first layer here, which will be 1 to 2 millimeters, I'd say 1.5, and then we'll let it dry overnight. So I'll take my cup, I'll take my still water, take off the plastic lid. The stuff actually doesn't smell at all. And we'll just pour it in our glass. There you go. Actually, not a bad smell. It looks a bit, yeah. Interesting, let's put it this way. And then I have to turn this a bit so I can see where I am pouring wise. And then I'll just pour it in. See, that's the problem here with the plants that I have on the base, that I need to see where I can pour it in. The thing is, it's self-leveling, so we put it like this, and then we take our diabase and we'll just manipulate it a bit, make it run so we get a good coverage everywhere. It's a bit, let's say, it's a sturdy liquid. It's not as runny as I thought it would be, which is a good thing though, I have to say. Makes it easier to use and easier to manipulate. Always be careful when you lift the container that you have the water in, so you don't spill it or anything. And when you move the diode, I'm sorry there that the tree's in the way. When you move the diode, be careful not to get it outside of your prepared water areas. But once you have coverage in almost all the areas, you are, I think, good to go on letting it sit for the first 24 hours. We'll go into this little crevice here, and there we go. It is a bit cloudy now, but that was to be expected, and that's what I read on the internet. That is cloudy, or not cloudy, but not clear until it dries, and that it then turns clear once it's dry. I still got a little bit left here, which is a good thing, so I can pour it in into this far corner here. I haven't gotten anything in yet. And the good thing is it's water soluble, so I can now, when I have everything on the base, just rinse the glass, and that should be good to go for the next purpose. And you don't have to throw the glass away, or you're not forced to only use it for doing still water. So let me just pour this into the correct form here. It's very interesting to work with, I have to say. I'm pretty impressed here, to be honest, because it's easy to use. That's the big thing here. I can say that right now. It's easy to use. Just make sure Everything sits perfectly. There you go. Our first layer of still water is in the little waterway there. So we'll let this dry now, and then we'll come back and we'll pour layer number 2. So see you in 24 hours. Quick reminder here before we see us in 24 hours. If there are air bubbles, use a piece, either like a sewing needle or just a very just try to take out all the air bubbles while it's still, well, wet. And then you won't have any problems later. And like I can see here right now, I only have one major air bubble, and there's a little pollution here, but that's not a problem. I can just Alright, that should be it. Yep, only one air bubble. So like I said, I'll see you guys in 24 hours. Once again, here is what we've done so far. I hope you can see it. Let me try to zoom in a bit, which I can with the gloves on. Otherwise, I'll just move the camera a bit so you guys can see this, but I think this is just interesting to see here. As you can see, here we go. First layer of still water in there. Like I said, I'll talk to you guys in 24 hours. Alright guys, the still water now had time to dry, and I have to admit I put a second layer down last night, so this is actually day 3. Because the first layer was so low, because it shrinks when it dries, that there was not much to see. So I put a second layer down last night. No, actually not last night, but yesterday at the same time. I put the first layer down, so about midday, which we now have again. So it's time for the third layer. Maybe the final layer, I don't know yet, but we'll see about that. But before, I need to, of course, check whether or not everything is dry. Let me just move this around and move the camera back a bit so you guys can still see. Just taking my finger here. Yeah, it's dry. Awesome. Alright. Once again, this time we'll do it with the bottle, because I have found out, or I figured out that with the bottle tip, it's much easier to move and manipulate the still water. So we'll do it this way now. And this makes it much easier to apply thin layers than when you have to pour it with the little glass container. But that's just, once again, experience. And from putting down the first 2 layers, I just found it's much easier when I applied it like this. It just allows you much more control about where the liquid goes, how much of the liquid goes where. You can fill when you see that there are areas where there's nothing. You can just manipulate the stuff, just pull it into the areas where you think it needs to be. And of course it has the self-leveling tendency, which is a good thing here. It allows us to just put it on and it will level itself. Now here, this is the only area where it's going to be problematic because of the flowers, to be exact here, to manipulate the stuff. Just get it on there and just put it in. Control that you don't have air bubbles anywhere. When you move the bottle, over to different sides. Try to make sure that you don't have stuff dripping out over, for example, your static grass. That would be not so cool. And always remember, there you go, you couldn't see what I did there, sorry. And always remember, when you're done applying it with the nozzle here, clean it, go back, check if everything is covered. Right now it's not, because I can see that there's no coverage right there. There's almost no coverage right there. Just add a blob. Just go in and add some. It will level itself, which is a good thing, I think. Yeah, and the good thing about doing it with the nozzle that comes with the bottle is you won't flood it, because you always see how high it is, and like I said, you have much more control about where your liquid goes and how much liquid goes. Yep. Alright, that might have been a bit too much. Yes, it has. But once again, our self-leveling effect of the liquid will allow us to just manipulate it. There you go. Alright, that's layer number 3. So we'll have this dry, and as you can see, we're almost up to where I want it to be. But once again, like I said, this will shrink a bit, so we might have to add one last layer of still water. So once that's dry, I'll come back, we'll look at how it looks, and then we'll decide if we need a fourth layer. So till then, I'll see you guys in, well, it's 24 hours, but in this video, it's just a second. Alright folks, welcome to the next episode of pouring still water, which actually is only a very, very small drop of pouring still water. The last time we spoke, I think I had applied layer 3 or 4, I'm not sure exactly. I then let that sit for 2 days because I attended a wedding a bit further away. And then yesterday I applied the last coat, I think, and today we are going to use this to fix the water lily that we want to put right in the middle of the stream. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little small tiny blob over the area where the water lilies go, right there. Because the thing is, if I put the water lily down on top of it, it looks as if it's flying over the water. But I want it to look as if it's floating. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to use tweezers. And I want to put it where it's going. And then, thanks to the stuff I've put underneath, I want it to look like that, as if the water lilies actually in the water and not on top of the water, or not in the, like, you know what I mean when I say in the water, don't you? Yeah, it's a bit. Right, there you go. Water lily edit. Yay! That sums up what the still water application. I'll take a couple of pictures and put them at the end of this part of the series. Take it in how it looks. I have to say, I'm happy with it. There are some issues, like air bubbles, that are just so blatantly unremovable because they just mess with you. You dab them, well, whatever you use to dab them out, and it just won't go. You push them to the side so they would like go outside. They won't go. You have them out. You let it dry, and like 10 minutes later, there are new air bubbles in other areas, and now the viscosity of the stuff is so, it has turned so hard that it's impossible to get them out without damaging the entire top layer. That was one problem I had with it. And then in some areas, it started cracking on the first or second layer. So we had like little cracks in it, which I was a bit confused about. But don't be um don't be scared if you use the product and you get cracks, because if you put layers on top, they become invisible. Um, there's one crack right here next to the water lily, but that happened I think on the last coat for whatever reason, I don't know. I think those cracks appeared in the first place because of the rocks that I have embedded in the river, um, and because the still water has to edge around it. So around the areas, around the corners of the stone, there are cracks in the still water. It looked interesting to say the least at first. Let me see. Yeah. And the thing I like the most about it is you get a very water-like, wavy surface without manipulating the stuff. So yeah, it's very interesting to me, and I will use it again. Already have made my mind up for another project with water, and I can only highly recommend this. It its cost um is lower than other materials. It's a bit more laborious though. You have to put one coat down and let it dry for 24 hours, come back, put another coat down and it dry for 24 hours, come back, put another coat down, let it dry for 24 hours. So you see where I'm going here. It's very laborious when it comes to the amount of days it needs and the amount of reapplication it takes for you to get to where I am right now, which is I'd say about a 5 mil, if that, might be 3 mil, because I put it on in even thinner coats than a mil at a time. I'd say, yeah, I'd say it's a 5 mil river. So I'm happy with that. Next up on the dio is figure placement. Like as you can see, I already started. Terrible me. So we'll be talking about how to place figures on a diorama in the next episode, because that's an important thing here. Not to overcrowd it, not to have them all in one area. To if you want to have a lively scene, how to spread them. We'll talk about that in the next episode. So this wraps up this episode, which I think is episode 3. And like I said, we have our topic for 4. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you guys around. Always remember the 4 is with you. It's all modeling. Bye for now, guys. See you soon.